Hello, Mudad bhai.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Very good, very good. Namaste and welcome to everyone. My name is Mohit Aggarwal. I'm an experiential ecotourism specialist. I'm the founder of Asian Adventures and the upcoming Global Wildlife Fair. We've been into this business for 31 years of wildlife tourism and conservation travel. And I've been trained in ISST by Global Sustainable Tourism Council, and I hold the position of vice chair in Asian Ecotourism Network. So that was a quick introduction about me, and I invite you to come to Global Wildlife Fair in October in New Delhi, which is happening from October 10 to 12. You'll have lots of things to do there, right? From workshops to meeting travel operators, book your holiday packages, seek deep knowledge from conservation and ecotourism experts, attend performances, have your samosa, chai, and jalebi there. It's very interesting fair, and you'll have lots of interesting facets of wildlife tourism to experience. Over to you, Muzahid Bhai.
Hi, I'm Muzahid. I'm born and brought up in Dasada, which is the edge of the Little Run of Kutch, operating a wildlife outfit called Run Riders since 20 years. We are into conservation, wildlife, and we do wildlife safaris, birding, and all the experiential tourism in that area.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
Excellent. Welcome, Mujahid Bhai.
thank
And
you.
I would like Hasib Bhai to
Yeah, I'll
come
introduce
in.
Asif Bhai. Asif Bhai is my colleague who is helping us out in the Little Run of Kutch. He'll be taking over for a while.
Hello, everyone out there, and hello, Mohit Bhai, once yet again. So I'm Hasib
Welcome,
Sheikh,
welcome.
and I've been a naturalist for last 35 years. I've been a consultant, and I've been a wildlife rescuer for a while now. And I've been closely associated with both the Run Riders as well as the Asian Adventures, and very proud to be the part of the Global Wildlife Fair too. And yes, my second home is the Run Riders at the Little Run of Kutch. And there are many stories to share and lovely experiences to share about the Little Run of Kutch through Run Riders, of course, which is the place to be when at LRK.
So, of course, you'll experience Lil Run of Kutch yourself in the slideshow. But what is so unique about Lil Run of Kutch is that it's a jaw-dropping experience. It's absolutely stupendous when you can go there.
It is the
Such
magnanimity.
wide, yeah,
It is the
exactly.
magnanimity of the saline flatlands. They're amazing. The ambience out there
It is
is
it's
mesmerizing,
beyond comprehension. If you
and
haven't seen photos, I agree
it's
with you.
poetry in motion during the mornings and the evenings. The sunrises and the sunsets are awesome, and the migratory birds, especially with special impetus on the raptors and the waders. And it's been an amazing experience over 20 years since I've been known to that place, and it's poetry in motion, sheer poetry in motion. And whoever said that greenery is the basis or the ethos of wildlife or conservation was very wrong, because wildlife and conservation both are very closely in affinity with dry areas or dry saline flatlands like the Little Run of Kutch. And if you haven't been there, you need to be there to understand and experience the lovely atmosphere out there.
You know, my first experience, my first uh, experience with Lil Run of Kutch was when I was in school. I There was this magazine that used to come called Discover India, and my uncle, I used to live with my uncle, and he used to get this magazine home. I saw some photos of Lil Run of Kutch when I was in school. I said, "What sort of place is this?" I didn't know anything about it, and I told myself, one day I want to get there. One day I want to experience this. And then when I was in college, first year college, a bunch of us got together.
Mhm.
Uh, that time I knew Anil Mulchandani, a common friend, and I called him up. We had to book trunk calls. There were no cell phone then. And I called him and I said, want to come to Little Run of Kutch. So he started laughing. He says, "Okay, come, we'll figure out something." So we got into this night bus from here to Jodhpur, and then from Jodhpur we got into some newspaper or milk truck, and we reached Ahmedabad. And Anil was there at a particular spot to meet us. So we all got into a jeep, those old Mahindra jeeps
Yeah.
which are open from two sides, and yes, with a soft top.
Yeah.
That's so we all got into. There were six of us, so we all somehow managed to pack ourselves into that jeep. And our driver was an expert driver from that area, but he used to ply his jeep in between Ahmedabad and Dasada, and he used to be clad in a pagadi and his dhoti and his kurta. That was his attire. That was attire for almost all the drivers who used to be taxi drivers in that area. Now, of course, nobody wants to wear those clothes anymore, you know, but I still remember. And then he first took us home where we had a Gujarati meal. And that was my first introduction to Gujarati meal. I'm talking about Hasib by 40 years ago.
Yeah, like 80s and all.
Yeah, yeah, I'm talking about 40 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
still
that was
around
my,
this
and then,
full appearance of Dasara and the vicinity of
yeah,
these 24
yeah,
villages, you still
yeah,
have traditional dress, where especially people over 60, 70, and 80s have been still
yeah.
wearing it with their wonderful, colorful safas
So,
and amazing achkans and lengas. And those are the old, those the royals of the area, that particular
So
area.
I'll tell you, yeah, I'll just quickly finish my story. And so then our next stop was Sarfraz's house because
Yeah.
there were no hotels then, there were no resorts, nothing. So we had to stay somewhere, and Mujahid had already sent him a message. Sorry, not Mujahid. Anil had already sent him a message. So we reached his house, and he took us to one big hall, which was his drawing room. And he says, "Guys, you need to shack in here." And I'm sorry, I don't have enough beds or any linen to give you, but this is what you are. So we were anyway backpacking, and we had our sleeping bags, and we all crashed out there. And he gave us the most wholesome, delightful meals I've ever tasted in Gujarat, all homemade. Next morning, he introduced us to his shikra, his favorite pet. That shikra had one broken leg, and he had put a false leg on it, and he was training it to fly back into the wilderness with that leg. And I think for some time he was even successful doing that. The shikra was still hunting with one set of talons, and it was absolutely mesmerizing to meet anybody like that who was a falconer and working and dedicating his life to saving raptors, which he still does. And so that was my first introduction to the Little Run of Kutch. Then, of course, we finished with that and went to Keith. That's another story that we'll cover in the next one. So over to you, Asif Bhai. Shall I start your slideshow now?
Please, please do begin, and let's go through this amazing utopian journey of the Little
Yeah.
Run of Kutch through the eyes of the Run Riders.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That's
Over to
something. That
you.
is something what we were talking about for those who haven't been at the LRK or the Little Run of Kutch. We shall use when I shall use the abbreviation LRK. It means the Little Run of Kutch, and these are the mornings and the evenings that the photographers are made after, especially when the sun is really touching the horizon up there on the line, and the wild ass just passed through, or a group of wild asses just passes through, and that's exactly when you want that picture. The ring, the great ball of fire circling the body of the wild ass. It's amazing. It's commendable, and you have to be there to experience it. That's the map of the Little Run of Kutch, exactly in Gujarat. It's in the upper central part of what is called Gujarat, but basically it's northern, western, northern part of Gujarat, and then the Kutch comes in. So that's how it is located, not very far from the international Pakistan borders radially, It's a beautiful saline flatlands, as we call it. It's not called the desert, basically. The Greater Run is the one. Now, here is the difference that the people must understand. When they talk about Kutch, they think about Kutch as a whole. But Kutch has shades within itself when it comes to the beauty and the ambience and the landscaping. Now, the LRK, or the Little Run of Kutch, and the GRK is the Greater Run of Kutch. GRK is where the salt water or the sea salt water forms into the salty flatlands. But in the LRK, it's the saline flatlands which are mud, totally mud. And this is where during the monsoons, the water logs in, and then the water is taken away by the soil, sucked in, and then this water is pulled by the agarias or the salt makers like later. It's a very dry landscape with some amazing salt that is being brewed and salt that is being made in the pans right there, with a lot of cumin production as well as castor oil production in the area, which is very much suitable to the atmosphere of the area. So it's called the saline flatlands of the Little Run of Kutch, basically. Now here is what it is well known for. It's well known for two things. It's one are the beautiful, amazing migratory as well as resident. Now one has to listen to this properly. Migratory as well as resident. It's not all migratory. There are resident raptors in the Little Run of Kutch. And Little Run of Kutch is known for both the raptors as well as the waders. Now most of the waders are migratory, but half of the raptors would be resident to the areas. And these raptors are the peregrine is there, the tawny, the spotted eagle, the shikaras, the kestrels, and everywhere. You'll find many such species, and these are the species that attracts the who's who of the photographic as well as the field biology fraternity as well as the observers to the area, to this beautiful saline mud flats. The mornings are so chilly, especially during the season between October to the March end, and that's the time when everyone would like to cling on to their winter wear, get into the early mornings jeep safari ride, get deep into the flatlands, the saline mud flats, go and look for some amazing raptors. On the way, go through the water bodies and see some amazing, uncountable numbers of waders that have been coming there. And the whole atmosphere basically is utopian, especially when you go into the flatlands where on all the five sides, when early in the morning the horizon is like it's up to nowhere. The ground zero is so beautiful from there that it's as if you'll be walking in any single direction when you randomly rotate your compass and then go around. It is as if there is no vicinity of human development or human dwelling in the area. It's beautiful. Now, this is one of the chief attractions. This is what brought the name and fame to the Little Run of Kutch. It is the wild ass. The wild ass has been a very rare animal when it comes to the uh, uh, treasures of wild in India. And this beautiful, there are only two that we find there. We find one in the Tibet plainlands and one here. There are around 5,000 of them right now, as far as it is concerned. And they are beautiful. They come from the Equus family, especially during as the summer approaches. There's a change in the color. They're slightly bigger than the domestic donkey that we see, but very agile, very fast, very secretive, and very shy. But when you look at the back, the haunches, the nape, and the head, they are slightly kind of ruddy reddish in color, and the rest of the body is white. But they look very beautiful. They look like horses basically. The only I hope and wish that the donkeys were as much given importance because they are so beautiful to look at. And this is the picture that the people would like to take, especially during the mornings and the setting sun times. And the wild eyes from the Equus family is the chief, other than the raptors and the waders. This is the chief attraction of the Little Run of Kutch, or what we call the LRK. A lot of guests who come and live at the Run Riders are the ones who every day, every time they come back and brag about their pictures of raptors and waders. But at the top of the cream cake, when you see the cherry toppling, it's always the wild ass. Next, please. Look at the group. This is the group. I mean, these groups could vary from about a small family of three all the way to about a group of 35 to 40. And they are very, very, very domestic, very cohesive family behavior. They have a lovely family of behavior, and they are not at all harsh towards the young ones of the others. In fact, they take them as a family. So the social behavior of the wild ass is something that is to be done, especially during the October and November times when the grass is still green around. And that is when the early morning sunlight really glares down on a slant. And when slight tinge of grass is there before it dries up by December, the color looks beautiful as if an Indian flag, as you can see on this screen, the red, the white, and the green. It looks like an Indian flag. If so, you have not noticed it, please look at it carefully. And this is the beauty of the Little Rann of Kutch. So, next slide, please. The hyena. Now, this is one of the beautiful carnivore that you can find in right through the length and breadth of, although elusive, of the Little Rann of Kutch. Remember, Little Rann of Kutch is one of the biggest sanctuaries in India, area-wise. Very big, very huge. And the Indian striped hyena is a solitary animal, unlike the African hyena, which comes in striped hyena. It's a plenty. People might think that they are the ones who are elusive and they're not that much, but they are plenty. But owing to the area of the Little Run of Kutch, which is huge, they do get a lot of space for an individual to go around. And therefore, it's very elusive, especially Dhangatra areas to even to the northern part, a slight northeastern part of the Sada and the Little Run of Kutch areas. You find them a lot, and they are very yes, elusive, very shy, and at the end of the day, once you take a look at them, uh, you know, it's amazing to take pictures of this hyena, especially in the open and dry landscape. Beautiful when it runs, poetry in motion. Next, please. Ah, the desert fox. Now, this is another chief attraction other than the hyena and the wild ass. This one, and it is beautiful. This one lives on the man-made uh, uh, hills that are being made to stop the water coming in from certain area into the other area. And this beautiful animals find their hidings and they find their homes in the little burrows that they carve out of those hills, and they have multiple entries and exits, and they are so smart at locating their prey. They stand on the top of the hill, gaze around, look for movements, and a slightest of movements catch their eyes. On the other hand, they need to be very, very, wary about the fact that there are huge raptors that are flying, the tawny eagles and the imperial eagles and the spotted eagles. They are there who could easily pick them up. So they need to be very on their toes. Go and catch that little things, the sand mouses or whatever scorpions or lizards that they get, and then they rush across back to feed their young ones. Often the mortality rate of the young one is a bit on the lower side because it's a very challenging arid area. Behavior is amazing. You should see it basking in the sun in the early morning outings. Ah, the gazelle, although very rare at the Little Run of Kutch. Gazelle is another, animal or an ungulate that you find there, but not anymore as it was past about 30, 40 years back. Now it's become very, very rare. I myself have seen it just once in my lifetime at the Little Run of Kutch. But still, they are there in the very deep interior areas. Most of them are said to be have shifted towards the GRK or the Greater Run of Kutch. The word gazelle uh, is comes from the Arabic word, a Perso-Arabic word uh, of ghazal, and that's how you see, because it has an amazing run as it goes. It runs so smoothly, like a poem or a narrative called ghazal, what we say in Urdu. So ghazal comes from the word ghazal, and it's a beautiful animal to see it, but very rare these days. Not as it was found commonly back 30 to 40 years back. Now, not anymore. Very rare. But though, if you're lucky, you can see an odd black buck or a gazelle sometimes. Yes, you can. Next, please. Yeah, the birds dominated by raptors, the peregrines. Amazing. These peregrines are kind of migratory. Between October to March, they are in and around the place, and they stand on this beautiful, small, 3 to 4 feet high wood stone stumps that are being put by the forest department so that they can perch on them and take a look around of the moments of small time animals or birds that are just moving around, and then they can take their flight from there and go and grab. They are amazingly fast, but when they take off they're not that fast, of course. When they are in flight, totally high, and when they die down they are very fast. But still, when compared to other birds, they are very fast. They are amazingly camouflaged, and they are very beautiful birds to watch too. They are like bandits of the desert with their nice hood on the across their eyes, and they love to keep themselves clean and push themselves high. Some of the females are really very bold. I have known to get my guests as close as 6 to 7 feet of them while crawling on the ground with the cameras, and still keeping one eye on the approaching camera photographer. They still don't let the ground go away, and they just sit there and perch. And it's amazing till the photographer gets sick of it. He just pushes his camera on the side and just takes a look at this beauty of a bird right there, the peregrine, one of the chief attractions at the Little Run of Kutch. Next, please. Next, please. Thank you. Again, a nice close up of peregrine with a kill. You can see the feathers down there of the fresh kill. And look at the bandit hood around the eyes. It's beautiful. And they can surprise you with their morphing. I mean, the morphing is diverse amongst them. Some are very purely milky white. Some are very kind of on the reddish side of it. The black sometimes it is grayish, sometimes on the backside is pretty black, and so they can come in various colors. But the behavior is something to reckon with. Next, please. Ah, the short-eared owl. Now this is a photographer's delight. It's a photographer's dream. The short-eared owl is something I've known photographers who have kept on coming back to the Little Run of Kutch just to get a glimpse, just to get a frame of these beautiful birds that come from Eastern Europe all the way. And they are so agile, so swift. And unlike other owls who like to perch on the top, these beautiful birds, the medium-sized raptor as it is, loves to sit below the bushes and have adapted themselves so well with the thorny acacias in the area that they are at home right there. And would that when they are on the ground with the dry bushes and the dry dead acacia stuff that is lying there on the ground, it's very difficult to look at them even if they are right in the front of your eyes. And they look as if babies look at the strangers when they walk in, their eyes fixed on to the photographers or the jeeps that cross by. and they're very fast, and they can really fool you by flying one way and then instantly changing the direction and going away, like the huge Craig Martins kind of. Next, please. The nightjar. The sky is nightjar. These nightjars are beautiful. Again, they are very good at camouflaging themselves, especially under the acacia tree. There are not many other trees that when you go around in the Little Run of Kutch, because it's a saline flat land, and the plants and the vegetation out there is totally acacia, which is an invasive, the Prosopis juliflora, which is an invasive species in the area, and these birds have really adapted themselves to it. This nightjar really sits again on the ground or on the thick branches of the acacia sometimes, and it's literally very difficult to figure it out. It's only the local drivers of this area who are very smart, who know their work well, who are very good birders, and they are the ones who can figure this one out. Very difficult to figure. The McQueen's bustard, the hobara, as it is locally called, the hobara, the McQueen bustard, a cousin or the subspecies of the great Indian bustard. Amazing. I've been very lucky, and so are the people who are visiting Run Riders and the Little Run of Kutch lately for last 3 years. That this has been very much visible in certain areas or certain beats of the Little Run of Kutch, and a very solitary bird again, loves to keeps its distance. It doesn't allow anyone to venture too close to it. And the local drivers who are smart guys, good birders, these boys, they know exactly what is the distance that has to be maintained between the McQueen's bustard and themselves so as not to make it fly away. And the photographers can get a good frame out of it. But very secretive, very elusive, and very lonely, bird. And it can, at a small, disturbance, it can just fly away. But once you get to it, you are right.
Marine.
This is a beautiful bird again. The merlin loves to sit on the top branches of the dry vegetation in this saline floodlands, and like a toy keeps on rotating its head. Beautiful. It's one of the birds that you would love to see in the Little Run of Kutch. Next, please. Ah, the beautiful scoop owl. Now, these owls have adapted themselves to live near the uh, small hamlets and villages on the edge of the saline flatlands, and they are somehow adapted to stay within the human vicinity, close to the human vicinity, if not within the human vicinity, and very well adapted. So as soon as we keep our one has to keep their eyes open, especially the smart drivers of who are also good birders, who take you out silence. They exactly know when to look for the scoop owls on the very edge of the saline flatland deserts. Next, please. The pallid harriers. Now you find the marsh harrier, you find the pallid harrier, you find the Montagu's harrier. They're all there in the Little Run of Kutch, LRK, and it's one of the big roosting grounds of. I still feel that contrary, I mean, this is arguable, but Velavadar is considered to be the biggest roosting ground. But whenever I go to LRK and Velavadar together, I see more harriers in LRK than Velavadar itself. So I have my own personal opinion. So this is not a general opinion, or I'm not trying to impose my thinking on someone. But at the end of the day, I still feel LRK has a better number and better proportion and a higher quality and number of harriers than Velavadar. Next slide, please. Ah, One, the magical birds, the elusive magical birds, the sand grows. I mean, they're sitting right in front of you, about like 15 feet away from you, and you wouldn't even know that they are sitting there unless they are disturbed and they fly away. And that's exactly you get to know that, oh, there was a sand grouse right there. But the young boys, the drivers from Dasara and Sainabad and Vanod and all these places are so good at it that they would exactly pinpoint you where the sand grouse is. Beautiful birds. They are the king of camouflage on the ground. I mean, undoubtedly, there's no doubt about it. And their behavior, and especially the social behavior, is amazing. The larks, a lot of larks, and one of the very important lark and elusive lark is the hoopoe lark that is found in the Little Rann of Kutch, and it has got the hoopoe-like beak that gives its a name, the hoopoe lark. Beautiful lark. There are a lot of other larks. There are about 6 to 7 types of lark that you find in the Little Rann of Kutch, and one of the less photographed bird, but something which is very inquisitive. And the Asian desert warbler, again, not that easy. It might be standing perched on a dry branch right next to you, but then you wouldn't even know, and you would take it as some kind of a common wabbler that is around. But it's Asian desert wabbler is a rare wabbler, and it's found in these areas only. Next. The desert wheat. Yeah. Now, this is one of the attractions right there, especially the male. When in the early rising sun in the morning's outing, when you go, this is the first bird that possibly you might see as you enter the saline flatlands. And when the sunlight falls literally horizontally onto it, the colors just amuse you. And that's when you think, oh, we have underestimated this bird. It's a beautiful bird. A very beautiful, it's a sparrow-sized bird, but beautiful bird when it comes to a certain angle of lightning that it falls on it. Safari and photography, of course. LRK is a destination and a haven, a utopian haven, as I may put it, for the photographers, those who are, but not just photographers. I mean, the observers and the field biologists. There have been a lot of field biologists who have been coming here for the variety of animals that have been shown onto your screen. And the photographers and the bird watchers, the birders, especially when they come around with their target species, Alake doesn't seem to shy them off. In the season, especially the December and January, is amazing. And photography, of course, the something on the top of the frame is what I was talking about at certain points, and right in the middle of the saline deserts, when you park your car and if you're having a bonnet breakfast somewhere out there, and when you're looking on 360 degrees turning around, and you will see there's no sign of human dwelling, or there's no sign of any building of any kind. It is as if it might sometimes scare you. What if the jeep breaks down and we have to walk all the way? I mean, how far will we have to walk? Look at this. And on the edge of the water body, and some at times soon after the monsoons, when the winter begins, it's kind of off-roading in certain areas. So LRK is a potpourri of everything you call adventure. Next, please. Now, another chief attraction that, especially when you come to Run Rider, they do offer you this lovely package of two kinds of safari. One, of course, we have been talking a lot about in the front part of this webinar, that is the wildlife outing. Sorry about that. And the other thing is the village safari. Now we have a lot of tribes in and around this place. This is a tribal area basically, especially the Rabaris, and there are 2 or 3 types of Rabaris that we find there. The Parwars are there. You find a lot of Jat Muslims in and around the place. And the picture that you see on this particular screen is a Mir woman. Now they are the Rajasthani, South Central Rajasthanis, who are nomadic types. and they are the ones who have come and settled here, finding a perfect environment for themselves in which they were born and brought up, as the saline flatlands of the Sada and vicinity are a bit dry in nature, so they feel at home here and they have settled. Of course, Run Riders, in one of its CSR activities, do look after the well-being of this particular community, the Mir community, and they have been helping them in all walks of life, in trying. Even you will see them at Run Riders and other resorts also, where they come and spread their handicraft stuff, which you can really buy. The visitors do buy a lot of beadwork from this beautiful community. Next, please. So this is what you can see, the village safari, a lot of camels that are migratory. These are the Debaria Rabaris to the left. The women are clad in black, and with the season, they migrate from Kutch towards Gujarat, especially central Gujarat, North Gujarat, and at times South Gujarat and deep into Saurashtra. And what you can see on the camel backs right there is they've got their entire belongings and the house on the charpoy that is put, and a lot of utensils on the charpoy, and the men lead the caravan by with the other domesticated goats and sheep, while the women lead the camels behind them. So this is something that travel photographers love when they are at the Sada and other places in around the Little Rann of Kutch, and they love to take pictures of the migrations. So these are the migrations as summer uh, is about to come. They start migrating towards Gujarat and Saurashtra, these Rabaris, and then when at the end of the summer, when the winter when the monsoons are over, they start going back because pastures start getting green back in Kutch. uh, Being local, buy local, this is something that to be very honest, a lot of resorts and hotels have now begin, but Run Riders has been doing it for a while. In fact, they have been pioneers by giving a space to the Mir and the Rawaris to come and showcase their handicraft items, to come and showcase their fabrics and embroideries, and giving them a chance through inbound as well as domestic tourism that has been happening in at Run Rider, so people can go and buy this stuff from them, the lovely handicraft work. So there has been a lot of beadwork, a lot of weaving. There's been a lot of fabric and applique work, and then there has been a lot of handmade jewelry, the oxidized jewelry work by the Mir community, and all these communities together also showcase their talent, as such resorts such as Rider give them an opportunity to build the rooms with the local art on the walls of the rooms. So yeah, it's being local and buying local. That's something. Uh, there are a lot of beautiful places in and around the Sada and the Little Run of Kutch. And one or two of the major places that I might put is the Modera Sun Temple, which is a 1,000-year-old architectural site, the Sun Temple. On equinox and solstice days, the sun rays straight used to fall on the deity, the sun god, inside the sanctorum or the Buddha Mandapa, as well as the UNESCO World Heritage Site of the Stepwell, which is behind the 100 rupee currency note of our country. The Rani Ki Vav, or the Queen of the Stepwells at Patan, and they are very close to each other, and they are just a stone's throw away from the Little Run of Kutch and the epicenter at the Sada, where Run Rider is located. And once when you are there, you can take a day out. On the way, you can see the nice Suzuki car manufacturing factory. On the other side, even the Greater Run of Kutch is not that far from the Little Run of Kutch. These are the glimpses of the various Jain temples and Hindu temples and the stepwells, the Surya Kund. to the left top, and in the center you see the Rani Ki Vav, and below that is the Jain temple that you will see at Sankeshwar. Sankeshwar is amazing. Again, Sankeshwar is located on the Modhera Sun Temple on the Tropic of Cancer. So these are the places to visit on the spiritual side of it too. And Lothal again is not far. Dhalavira is not far on either side of it. So to when you go towards the greater run of Kutch in a diagonal northwest bound, then slightly more western bound, then you go to in the Harappan civilization of Dhalavira, considered to be 4,500 years old, done in the 7 layers, and it is the southernmost point of the Harappan civilization, only third to Harappa and Mohenjo-daro in Sindh. Dhalavira is now a must-go place, and it's really going through a lot of changes. Curated workshops. There are a lot of curated workshops when it comes to both handlooms and handicrafts that can be done. Especially in this area, the Tangalia is known very well, and the Tangalia weaving in the areas of Bajana as well as the Sada and other places in and around this part of Surendranagar, right on the edge of the Little Rann of Kutch. This beautiful art of Tangalia weaving, which is a pit loom, and it is a two-pedal pit loom. So it's an amazing experience with fabrics on fabric tours. Do fabric tours also, textile tours also stop over at the Sada for some amazing work. Uh, and then there are other curated workshops like with the Mir community, such as the beadwork making and the patchwork making, especially Bengal making. So these Mirs are very good at this handicraft. So these curated workshops can be hosted at the stay. uh, Run Riders as a lodge. It's a fairy tale story. It's a story of hard work. It's a story of a dream and visualization that happened 20 years ago when there was absolutely no place to live. And as Mohit Bhai was telling earlier during the introductory session, that there was no place to stay and they stayed at someone's private house at that point of time. It's Sarfraz Bapu's place. And that's the thought that was initiated back by one of the sons of the soil, Muzahid Malik. And he came up with an idea of giving a very good cozy stay of certain standards and hygiene and lovely food. And that's when the idea, so he began it with a very 4 to 6 rooms, which were just simple rooms back then, and slowly then they really worked hard. Today the property has about 28 rooms with different classes, with amazing pools in the property if you wish to, camel rides, with workshops that can be happen that can be curated within the property, with local folk dances that can be organized, a wonderful shooting range at the property, lovely 2 lakes for nice view, morning and evening walks in and around the property. In fact, within the property, the birding is amazing. And within the property, it is now that the property has been changing and also giving more impetus to the endemic trees. 50,000 trees have been now. Imagine, that's a staggering number, an unbelievable number, but I'm a witness to it, and I've been a part of the plantation team at the Roan Riders. 50,000 trees and plants have been planted, making sure that they get water, and water bodies were specially built to sustain this plant. So there are a lot of herinaries within the properties, and a lot of bird sites within the properties that one can enjoy. Remember, the property works on a very ecotourism value. Next slide, please. And Ahmedabad Earthworks, of course. We begin our first chapter of Ahmedabad Earthwalks last Sunday. So you can see the pictures of some amazing. And now this is this concept by the Asian Adventures, which is also an inevitable part of the Global Wildlife Fair and the Earthwalks. That is to create a community. Now there is no expert. The best part of it is a very lovely concept. The best part of it is there is no expert. Someone who just makes sure that it is well organized. One. Two, everyone who comes there is free to share the story or take a lead. Three, and then everyone other who is participating in the walk gets a chance to describe and to teach or to, share his or her experience end of the day go down and say we have a community. Now this, if you just go around this QR code, you will find an access to, of course, the run riders and the Little Run of Kutch and the total information. And of course, Asian Adventures and run riders have been hand in glove with each other when it comes to ecotourism and responsible tourism, to be more honest. So Mr. Mohit Aggarwal, Mr. Muzahid Malik, both of them have been working in tandem for elevation of responsible tourism as well as ecotourism. And there is no better or bigger witness than me, that who has been working close with both these gentlemen with values and trying to inculcate and imbibe the true value of conservation into people. So thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure for the it's been a pleasure to go through a webinar organized by Asian Adventures. It's been a more of a pleasure to represent the run riders and to showcase whatever run riders on the values of ecotourism and responsible tourism has been trying to push this area of the Little Run of Kutch, which is an utopian land. For those who haven't been here, should come here, be our guests at Run Riders, come through Asian Adventures to us, and we can all together as a conservationist family go around. Thank you very much, Mohit Bhai.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a lovely, lovely webinar. Thank you so much, Hasib Bhai, for sharing your insights. I hope all the attendees enjoyed watching this webinar. It's not complete if you don't watch the YouTube link, which I've just posted. This
Yeah.
YouTube link is probably one of the best films for a destination in the country, and it's been made by a very illustrious photographer, Dhritiman, who's made this film for Gujarat Tourism. I posted this YouTube link. Do watch it after the webinar, and you'd be pleased to know that he spent many months, almost a year and a half, to make this film. Feel free to share it. Do like it, share it, comment whatever you think. This gives you the real idea of what the Little Run of Kutch is all about in winter. And when you come, you'd actually be able to see all these sites yourselves when you go around with run riders, naturalists, and drivers, to these spots. And they do these lovely sundowners for you. They will give you a nice hot cup of tea along with biscuits and snacks, and then while you watch birds, and they will all lay it out for you. It's absolutely a magical experience. Don't miss it. So if you want to book your stay in Gujarat at the Little Run of Kutch, then I posted that link. It's linktree/Run Riders. Go through it and make your bookings with Run Riders. It's absolutely a delightful experience to be there. And I just want to thank Muzahid Bhai once again for giving us this opportunity. I want to thank Gujarat Tourism, who are also our sponsors and partners at the Global Wildlife Fair, for helping us put this fair together. And I want to thank Hasib Bhai, who's an independent naturalist, is a storehouse of information for Gujarat. And if you want to travel with him, you can contact him directly also. I'll share his number with all the participants here. So if there's any opportunity that comes for us by, please feel free to pass it on to him. So thank you very much. If you've got questions or other things to ask, please feel free um, to email them to us, and we'll be very happy to take them. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All the
Thank you.
best. All
Yeah,
the best.
thank
All
you.
of you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.